Good afternoon, one and all. Sorry for the delay due to some technical issues. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, one and all. Respected sir, MBA Director ma'am, Principal ma'am, Vice Principal ma'am, Resource Person of the Day, Dr. Xavier Mahimeraj, HODs of all the departments in our college, faculty, friends of all the departments, and beloved students. I have immense pleasure in welcoming you all to the state level webinar organized by the PG and Research Department of Commerce. Person of the day, Dr. Xavier Mahimeraj. Immense pleasure in welcoming you all to the state level webinar organized by the PG and Research Department of Commerce, Arkat Sri Mahalakshmi Women's College. I extend my warm welcome to the guest speaker. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation. I profoundly feel immense to address the chief guest, Professor A. Xavier Mahimeraj, MCom, MEd, MBA, MPhil, PhD, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of Commerce, Loyola College, Chennai. Our guest speaker is highly motivated, experienced, and talented academician, specialized in accounting and finance. Inspire young minds to pursue academic and personal excellence, administrative experiences, and research success of multiple research publications. With regard to and research experience, 1996, Dear participants, please mute yourself. Sorry. Since 1996, he is working as an assistant professor in commerce in Loyola College of Chennai. He is acting as research supervisor to the PhD candidates of Department of Commerce in University of Madras. Administrative experience, held the position of Vice Principal, Student Affairs, Shift 2 from 2005 to 2008. He was a coordinator of PULC Twinning Program from 2009 to 2013. He was also an IQSC coordinator. He was currently an IQSC coordinator from 2013 to 2021. His qualification is MCom, MEd, MBA, MPhil, PhDs. In international journal and 14 national journals. Is having minor project done on the theme of microfinance during the period 2008 to 2010, which is an UGC sponsored minor project. A very warm welcome, sir. I now request the chief guest to continue the speech.
Okay. Let me present first and then start. Is my presentation visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello? Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir.
Okay, fine. Is it on slideshow mode? Is it?
Yes, sir.
Great, great. Okay, fine. Respected principal, Dr. Vijayalakshmi, respected Vice Principal, Mrs. N. Maithili, the convener of the program, Dr. R. Mohana, and also the organizing secretary, Dr. M. Anita, all the respected professors and my dear students. Good afternoon to all, and this is my very rare privilege and also matter of pride to be with you in this afternoon to share a little bit of my insights on the given theme. You have identified a wonderful theme, from entrepreneurial perspective, something on sustainable business strategies for the new normal, the situation we're in. What could be the way forward as an entrepreneur and for all entrepreneurial initiatives. Wonderful topic has been chosen for the deliberation today. So my sincere appreciation and also congratulations to the organizers. So I have prepared a preparation in such way that I will concentrate on what is the reality today as far as the impact of COVID-19 is concerned on economy. Then we'll move on to what is the way forward available in terms of sustainability and sustainable development, and in which what are the roles as an entrepreneur someone could think of. and also as a student who is aspiring to become an entrepreneur can think of as a sustainable business strategies. So this have that I have prepared for our discussion today. So we know this COVID-19 triggered a deeper recession than that of 2008-9, the global financial crisis, subprime crisis. The world is now amid the greatest economic disruption since the Second World War. That's what the kind of a significance here. And so whatever the kind of the leap has been made by all countries in terms of economic progress eroded in such a speed. So we cannot simply sit back and relax on our past laurels, the developments that we have been created, thought of, and developed. Whereas now we have to really think about, what is next, because the impact is something phenomenal. Now, if you look at some of the fallouts, what happened in the recent time, the last 1 year, particularly, this disruption caused a kind of slow down the whole process of economy, and also unprecedented, cancellation of orders up to 30% in the recent time, and cancellation close to 50% in certain sectors, orders. So when order is cancelled, because of what the huge gap is created between demand and supply, and because of that, funds have been locked up, owing to non-payment of dues by large buyers, particularly US, Europe, and West Asia. So that's a kind of a significant fallout that has happened in the recent times. To go a little more close of this to understand the kind of impact, say some of the sectors you can see here, which has kind of the impact as far as concerned. Just for a second, this is my system. Is it visible? And is my slide moving? Hello? That you can follow my presentation my slide. Hello?
Sir?
Yes. Hello, I'm getting some disturbance. I'm not able to.
Yes, sir. Actually, there is some.
It's highly noisy. Am I audible?
Yes,
should I
sir,
proceed or should I wait?
you are hearing, but there is some noise, sir. Dear participants, please mute yourself.
Okay. As a host, you can mute everyone, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Please mute.
Around 50 participants are there. If everyone could mute your mic, then without any further disturbance, I can continue. Otherwise, it's too noisy. Okay, shall I proceed? Hello? Hello. Shall I proceed further?
Yes, sir. Now, sir.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption. So I'll present you quickly the key insights from various economic reports that are available. The first insight that we have to understand from the experience that we go through in the last 2 years, particularly. The first one is the world trade would take a massive beating, especially in non-essential goods and services. And because of that, exports bases in US, European countries, and Gulf and other developed nations would be a huge challenge. So that's the first, the kind of thing that you have to understand from an economic crisis. Then most of the countries got into the mode of protectionism, and also to extent to go for a trade wars, because there's a huge gap is created in terms of demand and supply, and also economic recession. So World Trade Organization would be a bit looser, and all trade treaties and policies will come under reconsideration. That's the situation now. So the countries exporting finished manufacturing goods with established export markets are likely to wade through the current environment. Those like India, if you take, that are dependent on intermediate and agricultural exports, and are on the lookout to tap newer markets, are likely to find the going tougher. So this is a situation. This is a situation as far as, that's why every country is trying to protect themselves on the mode of protectionism, to just safeguard the local and also economic of indigenous nature first priority. The second one, because of this the kind of a movement, the economic Nazism will rise. No? And that will rule the whole context of what interaction with other countries. So that's another strange situation is prevailing now. Then, of course, China is a global economic emergence, is absolutely inevitable, and which is ahead of the curve and most prepared to scale up its manufacturing. And they already started capturing new export markets, expand the benefit from the current pandemic. So we cannot, though the COVID-19 broke out from China, but they handled the whole thing and responded quite fastly. And now their initiatives are really alarming, alarming in terms of their speed with which they are recovering is a kind of lesson for other countries to learn. If you look at India very closely, by 21-22, within this financial year, we will be also getting some the benefits. Of course, some disruption that we face in terms of global supply chain and suspension towards China's role instead of disease, transparency and sharing of information, US-China trade war and its altruistic tendency has made large impact in terms of looking for new manufacturing bases. So the whole concept makes us to think a world of regional self-sufficiency rather as we earlier thought of ruling the entire globe. But now we have come back from the global impact, we have come back to the rural focus, not rural, regional focus and self-sufficiency focus. So we have to take a new risk. Some of the old thing that we have taken has to be delinked, realignment to be created, redesign in terms of a supply chain to be advocated. So these are the paradigm shifts required in the context of production service sector. So I've given you the key insights that everyone should pick up in the context of various things happening in the economic aspects due to COVID-19. So having said all these aspects, the key insights, what is the shift happens and how we can base our understanding further. One of the very recent survey by CII they say the digital transformation is the key shift now because of or during this pandemic time. If you look at now organizations made big change. What are the changes that has been done? Almost all organizations in response to the pandemic. Now here, but again, they cannot go back. They have to go the same direction. The highest priority shifted to more cloud-based business activities. Now, and also accelerating process of automation. Now, reduction in manual kind of human oriented processes. Then, if you say adjusted their approaches to change management, every hour, every day, some change is happening. Now, a new variant is now found in the context of COVID virus. Now, that calls for another change in the whole approaches. And finally, all organizations now looking for a kind of a permanent change to organizational strategies. In long term, how they could really evolve and stabilize their businesses. So, three things is a kind of focus. The first one is digital transformation. I think some disturbance for somebody should mute. Yes. I'm sorry for this. Could you please mute someone is disturbing? And,
Unmute them, sir. Unmute them.
could you please? No. Can I proceed further? Is it okay to listen alongside this?
Lakshmi, can you please mute yourself?
I don't know who is
Lakshmi.
Okay. So I will mute it. Fine. I'll continue with that. So I'll come to this point. I'm sorry, I'm not able to continue if there is a kind of a disturbance like this. So could you please mute and then for you to also. Hello.
Yes.
Okay. So today, three important focuses that we need. The first one is digital transformation. Second one, the human element is a key to success that we have to realize that solely depends on the health. So what's the action to be taken? I'll come to the next level of the presentation. Having understood these influences and also the kind of impact, so what that we need to do. So the first one, today almost all business big think tanks started acting in this way. One is lead, engage, and enable the workforce in new ways with inspirational leadership. So starting from whether it is a government or a business or any kind of a small organization, now inspirational leadership is the key. Hello? Am I audible?
Yeah, now it is audible, sir.
I don't know
There is
why all
sudden
of us,
interpretation, sudden
all of,
interruptions.
I mean, interpretation. Okay. Is my presentation visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So, and the operational scalability and flexibility also should be thought of. So I'll go quickly now. So I presented two things so far for your better understanding because of this disturbance. I presented the impacts, and second one, the focus is going to be digital transformation, human and wealth focus.
Hello.
Then the next level is already I've presented. Now have an inspirational leadership, bring
Hello.
technologies into foray,
Hello.
and finally operational scalability. Now, since the organizers wanted me to have something on sustainable strategies before I go for strategies for entrepreneurial initiatives. What is sustainability all about? No, say when we talk about sustainability, now it is of meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability for to meet their own needs. So that's what the sustainability all about. Now, so both all students as well as whoever in the context of in the context of situation as an entrepreneur or a manager or any level should understand this. And it is not enough just to have immediately thinking about environmental sustainability alone. When we talk about sustainability, we have to strategize, human sustainability. Occurs disturbance is there.
ஐயா வணக்கம்.
Please mute. Okay. So we need to have a human sustainability, social sustainability, economic sustainability. And there comes environment. So I hope you are familiar with all these sustainability. When I talk about human sustainability, the human capital should be nourished, the knowledge and skills must be enhanced. You know what happened because of the pandemic? Now the companies say the recent academic track records they won't consider because they have their own apprehensions over what the skill development that took place in the recent time. So the sustainability, when you talk about human sustainability, it is something of what? How that you can strengthen your education system so that their knowledge and skills is really fine-tuned, groomed, developed. When we talk about the social sustainability, as a society, society should elevate itself to a kind of a well-developed framework. For that, a proper infrastructure is required that has to be developed. And when we talk about economic sustainability, now the poverty has become a very bigger problem, and many people brought under the category of below poverty line. Middle class group is enhanced. So the point is here, how you are going to ensure the standard of living for all. That's something about economic sustainability. And finally, it comes environmental sustainability. That you know very well how you can conserve various natural resources for future generations. So, if at all you are thinking of a strategy now for a future entrepreneurship, you please keep in mind economic development, environmental conservation, social justice. That should be the focus. And without compromising all these three major areas, you cannot think of what a sustainable development. So you have to really take into account how I can take along the human capital, economic capital, social capital, and environmental capital with the due returns. Now, how I'm going to take that input and what I'm going to generate as a kind of a good output and also reward to all these inputs. That way, something to be strategized. So having said this, what is the importance now? The importance of entrepreneurship. Now, actually, in a sixth sense, in a very strict sense, this topic should be spoken by an entrepreneur. But I'm an academician, so that's why I'm connecting with theoretical knowledge and economic and commerce and business entrepreneurial concepts, for the better understanding. Whereas if you ask the entrepreneurs, definitely they will be able to make a point. See, the one aspect is very good about this pandemic is, even in this context, there is a particular silver line available. That is something accelerating and collaborating, in a very productive manner with other members, so that we can think of something innovative, a kind of entrepreneurial initiatives possible during this time. So collectively, each and every one of us can offer with our unique skill and our unique collaboration. That's an opportunity. And why this opportunity to be exploited at the moment? Because entrepreneurship has a kind of essence. It is primarily to unmet need and moving as fast as possible to get a meaningful product to market. So that's the whole essence of the entrepreneurship. And this is what the society needs today during this situation like COVID-19 pandemic. We need entrepreneurs to identify some of the areas which are unmet, but the society needs it, and the economy needs it, the country needs it, and that role to be played by entrepreneurs. If at all you want to do or step in of such kind of initiatives, first of all, we should develop these cognitive abilities. Now, only then, as a student aspiring as to become an entrepreneur, can think of stepping in to bring out product and services to meet the unmet needs of the society. So it is of something you must develop a cognitive ability to recognize the opportunity. You must develop the attitude of staying calm and patiently wait for the opportunity to really meet the right time to become success. You have to become very creative and innovative, and of course you need social skills in terms of interacting with others, networking and collaborating. And this is a beautiful model you can have as an entrepreneurial development process. Say something is a potential starting from the scratch, then you are already got into the startup demonstrated stage, then you have established, you have a business in your hand, and finally you can go for what? A mature stage, or we can say to scale up stage. So in all these four levels, a different type of abilities, knowledge, skill sets required. At the very first stage, the kind of a culture and also education is enough. Whereas when you start into the startup stage and also trying to establish, you need more of resource and business handling skills. But once it is established, and during the times of COVID, all these challenges, networking is very important. So if you are seriously thinking of to become an entrepreneur, then think of these stages, and in each stage, how that you can really identify some skills which are required, and accordingly you develop now itself. So what are the entrepreneurial possibilities? Say I'll give 3 examples later, but if at all you want to do some business activities and come into entrepreneurship during this very crisis time, then what is needed? You ask these 3 major questions. The first question is, what new problem do people what to say, the context of business, market, or the region, or a state, or a country, whatever it is. But start the question or start the whole process with a question: what new problems do people face? Secondly, what new things wanted? No, or we can say, what are the new wants and needs do they have at the moment? Then how can your business solve these problems and meet these needs? So these are the first three questions that you have to understand. Only then we can think of some business idea. So there are many examples. Even during the COVID-19, we have seen small business already have come up. But all this had this process of asking these questions. So what are the strategies? Having identified a solution for these questions or answers for these questions. The first, when I talk about the strategies, entrepreneurial strategies, that is, you are having a kind of a plan for a next few years, or at least for a few months. So study the competition, then conserve cash. No matter how good business is, you have to be on conservative mode, particularly during this pandemic time. So you have to really count every penny, and accordingly you have to manage your investment as well as any kind of returns. Then please go after the research of new product and services, and don't start with tackling a huge markets. Start in a very local, in a smaller way. Listen to your customers' feedback and adapt their feedback into your product and services, so that you can respond to your change. If you do this, then probably you have something in your hand as a strategy, as a product and service, as an entrepreneur. Hello, am I audible? Hello, some disturbance.
Now it is audible, sir.
No, I think someone is muting me. Hello, because I'm getting a message. Hello.
Yes, sir. But the thing is, I have made you asked initially. That's why I couldn't mute all.
Okay, so
Now
have you
I
lost
have
my
made...
input all this time?
No. Just this second. That's just this.
Okay, fine. It's okay now.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I hope you are following. You're able to follow my. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
We are here.
Sorry for all this disturbance. I'm absolutely not used to this many disturbances. The first time we have been used to online classes as well as various webinars, but it's okay, fine. Okay, let's learn. No, nothing to feel disappointed. So some of the businesses I'll present you as an example. The recent, very few students from Bangalore, a handful of students, one of the prominent colleges in Bangalore, they came forward and they worked together to come up with a mobile health app, and that has become a huge success and a business model today. And the government also noticing it, and one of the announcements happened in the recent, the government is interested in sponsoring such product. So that happened in nearby state. If you take in Tamil Nadu, now a group of school children, they started preparing handcrafted materials and selling during the pandemic time. And now the self-help group of the local area, they took up the idea, and the whole business has become a viable business for, for further development. It happened in recent time. Then edutech, so that is going to stay, whether you like it or not. Hereafter, everything will be on virtual mode. Learning will be on virtual mode. Now, wherever you are, at whatever time you may be, you can get connected and learn. So edutech brings a lot of opportunities to think of a kind of creating a website, a platform, a learning management system, mobile app for the same. So that is another area. Already I pointed out where health and wellness, financial services, particularly non-banking financial services, bringing small credits, at a smaller level for the sake of bringing inclusivity, in the context of finance. So that is another opening available now. Very interesting case in the Indian context. Clear mask. See, particularly people, those who have disabilities. If you close, particularly the mouth, they cannot see the how the words are pronounced. Unless this movement is noticed, they cannot understand. For them, especially a particular team of people came up with a business model to produce a clear mask. That is another interesting idea. Now, face mask primarily for what? Disability people, those have hearing issues. So another one is a quick transfer of products. Something like you are just ordering something on online, and the mobile app is created to track it, and based on that, they come forward to pick up and make a delivery easy. So e-commerce and delivery-based services. These are some of the areas very recently has picked up a lot, and also because of this type of economic activities. Now you can think of many more related lines of or better idea, and also getting to the mode of identifying product and services during this pandemic time. So before I end this, before I end my input in the context of entrepreneurship, what to be done, what are the new areas available, having covered all this. See, one important thing as a students, around 61 participants are here. I don't know how many are students, but you please keep one point in your mind at this moment. Your academic credentials, though it is very important, it is not the only phenomenon is going to decide your career options. What is more important is how are you going to develop your skills. Now, when I say skills, 3 skills that you have to focus. The first one is something on people skill. When I say people skill, how can I work with others quite comfortably? How can I get along with others quite comfortably? How could I work in a team? That's the first skill. Second one, communication skill. That's a paramount importance of both written and writing skills. And third one, becoming very creative, innovative. That is exactly called entrepreneurial skill. So you focus on these 3. I'll give one example, then I'll wind up the whole of my explanation. Can I take another 5 to 6 minutes? Is it okay? Hello?
Yes, sir. Not a problem, sir.
Okay, fine. Because you put 2 to 3 is the time. Okay. So I can take 5 to 6 minutes, isn't it? Hello?
Yeah, sir. No problem, sir.
Great. Okay. Say, I don't know how many of you remember what happened in Taj Hotel when terrorists gathered there and attacked and the entire hotel was under siege for 3 days. That whole incident, no, I hope you would be able to remember. Which year it took place? Anyone can say? Which month? November. That's no, November 26th it happened. Can anyone remember which year it took place? 2008 or 9? No idea. Hello? Okay, absolute silence. I leave out to those material, but the crux of this is very important. You know, when that incident took place, around 1,000 odd people were inside, in which 400 people are employees of the Taj Hotel, whereas the remaining 600 were guests, inmates, so on and so forth. One of the very high profile companies board meeting was happening on the day, so all think tank of the company were inside. But you know, after the whole things happened, one of the important and interesting truth came out, was none of the employees escaped from the scene during the entire context of this attack. In spite of the fact that they know the exit gates available, the emergency gates available, how they could easily escape, but none of them, all they stayed back. In fact, they jeopardized their safety and helped the people to get out of the scene. In that process, around 17 people lost their lives as well. So one of the professors from Harvard Business School interested in studying this case, and he did his case analysis for a year time. Then he brought out the success story of this scene, just because of three things. One is the policy of the company of recruitment, and the policy of giving incentives and developing the whole HR in the context of what? Value orientation. And finally, they say, if you give priority to the value and human skills development, and their achievements are recognized immediately, then there is a very natural inbuilt a kind of loyalty and trustworthiness. Because of that only, all these employees never tried to escape. They stayed together and helped the guests and customers to get out of the danger, even by risking their life. So I am referring this case here. Now, this changed the whole HR outlook, the policy of the many companies. Now, many companies, if you take a Google and just Google it, the HR policy, they say we need only one skill, your ability, your readiness to adapt the change. We teach you what is needed, but you be ready to learn something newly and quickly adapt to the situation. So my dear students, in this context, having understood what happened because of the pandemic and what are the the focus is required and strategies you can think of in entrepreneurship with the sustainability orientation, but always remember, we have to start from a particular point. The point is developing our own skills, honing our own skills, and when we are skillful, then anything can be managed very well. So having said this, now I would like to conclude my presentation. The future is bleak, of course, and also a lot of uncertainties available as far as economics and also various economies concerned. But we can definitely, with a kind of our ability to just bounce back, once this storm passes by, definitely we can emerge as the hub of, once again, as a hub of knowledge and also leaders in many walks of life to the whole world. But for which, as a student community, please focus on three sets of skills and focus on your academic pursuit of excellence as well. Then, at one point of time, you can make use of all these to identify product and services, to identify the right type of leadership that you should provide wherever you are. Then we can change and we can create the change and we can make the world a better world. So this is what that I have for you today's afternoon. I hope I have done some justice to the topic given to me. If there is any questions, I would like to take it up. Over to the organizers.
Yes, sir. Dear students, do you have any questions or clarifications? You can unmute yourself and ask if you have any queries.
If at all anything is missed out due to a small disturbance, I'm sorry. I hope nothing is wrong from my side, but sudden kind of a small disturbance, muting and also unmute. And I think one time slight disconnect, everything has been experienced. Sorry for that. If anything requires a further clarity, also you can ask.
So, dear students, hope you're clear with the topic and today. So thank you very much, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. And yes, you can proceed.
Just vote of thanks by Color of Department of Commerce. Good afternoon, everyone present here. I wholeheartedly thank the Chairman Sir and Secretary Sir for allowing us to organize state-level webinar. I would like to extend my warm gratitude to our Principal Ma'am and Vice Principal Ma'am for their valuable support and guidance. I extend my sincere thanks to the resource person, Dr. Xavier Magimeraj, Assistant Professor, Loyola College, Chennai, for the rendering and enlightening speech, sir. I would also like to thank the department head and faculties of our department for organizing and coordinating this wonderful event. I take this opportunity to thank all the department heads and faculties of our other departments, non-teaching staff for rendering their support. Last but not least, I thank the students outside college and our college who made this event a great success. Thank you one and all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Can I leave?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. It's my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for delivering a wonderful speech, sir. The feedback link. No.
அண்ணா வீட்டுல இருக்கான், சாப்பிடுறதுக்கு போயிருக்கான்.